Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. Let's make Ghost Maze. So last week I left you guys with typing in the rest of this code, which we found in this tutorial under Learn and Construct 2. So Tutorials Construct 2 Simple Swipe on Object by R. Maldeo. Now this is a really cool tutorial. I had to change a couple of the directions around. I think this part is actually right and this part is left, so you just got to switch them around. And so last week I've rotated the arrow to 180 and we had its visibility set to initially invisible. So just retick that and rotate it back to 0. Also, I had it showing on these different swipes. So make sure that you just delete anything to do with its visibility. Now this is only for testing. You don't have to do this part, but I just want to test to see if things work correctly. Now make sure all these numbers are correct, because if you get anything wrong, then the whole thing will not work properly. So there's a couple of negatives in there to look out for, so just make sure and remember that OR as well. Now on the arrow, I've basically got it starts on frame 0. We've got 0, 1, 2, 3, and we've got right, left, down, and up. I just use these little buttons to rotate the arrow. Okay, so it's corresponding to the directions in the code, and all I've done is basically show the appropriate frame to see if the swipe works. Let's give it a go. So now when I swipe, it should show the correct direction. Now if I swipe quickly on let's say go up and down straight away, then it won't work, because I've got this code saying wait 0.5 seconds before allowing to swipe again, and to swipe again, swipe needs to be false. Okay, so you can make this quicker to make it more responsive. However, we're actually going to do something different. So again, don't worry about it for now, because all this is going to go away. Now let's move this arrow off to the side. And what I'm going to do is we're going to start setting up our maze. But first, I want to make sure that I don't go over time and ramble on and stuff for too long. So I'm actually going to set a timer on my phone and make sure these tutorials don't take more than 20 minutes of content, because otherwise there's just too much stuff to talk about. I start drifting off and start doing other things. So I want to keep it simple, to the point. Let's start setting up the maze. Timer starts now. Okay. Double click on the screen, sprite, and we're just going to add a sprite. I'm going to do 960 by 960, and that's fine. And we're just going to something off white a little bit. Okay, so that's fine. And we're just going to drag it to the middle, so it should be at 640 and 960. So that's the middle. Now this shows you how big each room is roughly going to be. Okay, so 960 by 960 looks good to me. This is our layout. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this pencil. This is just a mock-up. Make sure this is black, and we're just going to draw some rough doors. Now there should be doors in all the compass directions, so north, south, east, and west. Okay, I'm just taking care so this actually looks presentable. This is just a mock-up once again. So you're able to go up, down, right, and left. Now, when we swipe, because we want this to be created on the fly. We want to auto-generate these mazes. Right now, we're not worrying about what the maze is. We just want to worry about the creation and how it's going to work. So what we're going to do is when we swipe right, we're going to create another, let's just go Command or Control C, copy, and same V to paste. And what we're going to do is if we swipe right, we're going to create another maze just to the side of this, okay? Like this, all right? And we're going to take the whole thing and tween it back into the middle. All right, eventually we're going to mask, put a black overlay on all these parts here, so only the center is shown. So you will never see that there is no other rooms created just yet, and that it's all in code, and you know there might be a preset path that you have to take. All you'll see is that one room and when you swipe, entering the other room. So that's basically what we want to do. Now for that to happen, we're also going to add the tween behavior onto this room. So let's just type tween and chuck it on there. Really simple. Now, because this is 960 by 960, that means that we will want to create the next room at, let's say we swipe right, it's going to be on the x-axis in the positive direction, 960 pixels away from this one. Okay, so whatever this position, this X position is, so right now the X position is 960, we're going to create it at that X plus another 960. Okay, so it's going to be created exactly here. I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So when we're swiping right, we want to go, I'm just going to put it up here, add another action. And what's this sprite? I think I've played with this before. I was doing a test and I forgot to delete it. Okay, so let's just take these out. Okay, wait a second, guys. I'll check which one's on the screen. Sprite 4. Okay, let's take Sprite 2, Sprite 3 out. Don't worry about this. This is just a test I was doing before and I forgot to delete it. So, and rename this to room. That way we don't, we're not confused. Now the arrow, we'll keep it there for now, but we'll delete it later. Okay, so back into the code. Again, this is just my mess up, guys, so don't worry about it. Make sure you call this room just so it's easier to refer to in code. Okay, once again, add another action. We're going to go room, create. No, that's spawn. We have to actually go into system, create, object. Now, oh, what is this? Did I click something else? Yes, I did. Okay, so again, create, double click on here. Object, room, layer. We've just got one layer right now. I am going to just click done and I'm going to rename our layer to content just to refer to it throughout. Okay, and we're going to change this layer content. So quotation marks, speech marks, and content. Not content with an A, but content with an E. Now, we also need to change the X and Y. So the Y is going to be the current room's Y. So it's always going to be, if it's right, yeah, that's fine. What we're going to do is it's going to be at room.y. So whatever the room that's on stage now, on the layout now, whatever its y is currently, and x is going to be room.x plus 960, like I've just explained. Okay, so let's have a look if that works. Yes, perfect. Now, the next thing we're going to do is add another action, and we're going to room and tween one property, and it's going to be X, and over one, just say 0.5 seconds, make it snappy, and we're going to go ease out quadratic. So it's going to start fast and finish slow. Okay, and destroy on complete. No, we don't want to destroy it on complete, but we do want to destroy. How are we going to do? We'll test it soon. Okay, I'm just going to give this a go, guys. Okay, so we don't want to, what am I tweening it to? Did I even give end value? End value is going to be room.x minus 960, because you want it to go that way. Okay, so we're walking that way, so it all needs to move this way. So it's going to be in the negative direction. Let's give it a go. Perfect. Now, we also need the original room to move. So what we need to do is we need to tween that before creating the other room. So we create, we tween the original room, create a new room, and tween that as well. Let's see if that works. Perfect. So because you've got a room on the layout right now, this line of tween refers to that room. When you create another room instance on the stage, the next line will refer to that room, okay? There are many little tricks that save you time in Construct, and this is one of them. Now, in order to destroy the first room, which is what we want to do on the end of the tween, we're just going to select destroy at the end here, okay? Destroy on complete. So, remember, everything on the sides here will be masked. This will all be black eventually, so you only see that room. Now, if we swipe, perfect. Everything is working as I wanted. Now all we have to do is replicate all this into the other directions. So we're going to move it to the top and we're going to paste it here. Now this is left. So all we need to do is change the negative to positive here, and we need to do the same on here. All right. And now we're going to, let's just test it before we move on. Yeah. Okay, no, it's not working. So let's give it another go. So left. It's still creating it on that side. So what did I do? Property, end value. Okay, so that's the tween. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm tweening it correctly, but I've actually still creating it in the wrong place. So I need to go change this to negative. Okay, so that's the only mistake I've made. So there. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. And now we're going to do the same for the other directions. Let's just move this to the top. And we've got to check this. We've got to change this to Y. And if we're going down, if we're swiping down, God, now I'm confusing myself. If I swipe down, I want to walk down, so we need to move the room up. So we need to move it Y negative. Okay, and we need to create this at, if we're swiping down, then we need to create it at Y positive. So this is going to be a room.x and Y plus 960. Okay, and again, we're going to change this to Y, and should be right. Let's give it a go. I'm scared. Yeah, perfect. It works. Okay, and so now all we have to do is, it's good to draw yourself a grid just to visualize things a little bit better. But as you see, sometimes just thinking about it in your head, when you've done this plenty of times, it kind of just works. Hopefully, sometimes it's good to test things every step of the way, just not to mess anything up. Okay, so we change that again and make sure that we invert all these. Oh no, minus. Okay, and over here to plus. And everything should work. So down, up, down, up. Okay, so everything is working exactly how I want. Now the only difference that I'm going to make now is that instead of waiting 0.5 seconds, okay, instead of waiting 0.5 seconds to enable swiping again, I'm going to take all these out. Okay, these two at the end. Swiping still stays true because we want to disable swipe. Okay, I'm just going to copy this last line, then delete these. I'll show you why. Okay, and now we're going to enter a simple condition here saying room on any tween finished, we are going to set swiping to false and enable swipe again. So you can only swipe again when the tween or the animation has finished. So now if I try and swipe quickly, like up and right, nothing's going to happen. It will only happen once the room has finished animating. Now, as you see, everything is working absolutely brilliantly. Now, all we have to do is mask the top of this. How much time do we have left? Do I really want to get into that now? So basically all you would have to do is, I'm going to duplicate. Do I want to do that? No, I'm just going to create a new one, just not to mess with anything. Okay, we're just going to go double click, go sprite, create a new sprite over here, and we're going to fill it black. Make sure that it's 960 by 960, same size. Okay, and basically what you want to do is make sure it's sitting right next to the room here. Okay, like this. Now you can stretch this out like this. Having a grid really helps. I'm just going to send it to the bottom, because where is our arrow gone? I'm just gonna, oh, the arrow's hiding here, so I'm just gonna move it to the side, because we are going to delete it now. I'm just gonna check that there is no code remaining for it. Again, that was just a test. And make sure, what would be good is, we're gonna actually create another layer. We don't, yeah, we're gonna go add a layer at the top and gonna call it, for now, just call it FG, like foreground. Now let's test, see if the arrow is all gone from the code. I think it is. So I think we can safely delete this. Yep. Okay, and we're gonna delete it from here too, because we don't need it anymore. And we're going to change this to mask. Okay, sprite 2 is going to be changed to mask. So this is room, this is our mask, and we're going to select this, this, and this. So just hold down shift as you're selecting and move it to FG. We're going to lock FG, and we can even disable seeing it. Okay, so by clicking this little button here. Now I can't touch any of these, I can only touch the sprite. So this is our content layer, and that's where we're going to place all our other stuff. Let's give this a go and see if it works. Perfect. So as you see, this is exactly what we wanted, be able to move through the maze to the different rooms. Okay, everything is working perfectly, and it's being created on the fly. Now we do have 5 minutes left, so I'm just gonna, instead of starting new, because I know that I really don't have time for it today, I'm just going to quickly finalize this. The main issue here is getting those numbers typed in, okay, making sure that all this is correct. So just double check. I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit, make a little bit more room. Now just double check all your numbers are right. Everything else is pretty simple, okay. Getting used to the directions, sorry, the what do you call them, the coordinates, and the way the plus and minus works, that really doesn't take much time. It's just a little bit of practice and it becomes second nature, but it can be a little bit confusing if you've never done it before. And with these graphics, just remember guys, this is just a mock-up. We will be working with real proper graphics. I'm going to create a nice little maze, characters, ghosts, we're going to work on all that, but we're going to do it once we've got the basic mechanic working and stuff. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this tutorial guys. If you have any questions, post them down below, and I will see you in the next Under Construction.